What's up, guys? How we doing? Good, good.
Mike, have you been able to sort of soak all this in? You know, a year ago you talked about it, the cut to 55, and you come up here and get a great win. Has that hit you yet? Just how quickly you turn things around?
You know, yeah, it has. I mean, I said it before, man. Last year was so tough for me. Everything with Brooklyn and the missed weight cut, losing to Pettis, especially losing here. I love Las Vegas. I love fighting here. This place is feeling more and more like home. I'll never leave Spokane, Washington, but I love fighting in Las Vegas. I love the fans. I love the environment. This is just where I enjoy fighting most, so it just feels good to get that back. A year ago today was the lowest point of my professional career, and I can honestly say that that day is long gone. This is the best version of myself. I'm in the right weight class, making the right decisions with my career. It feels really good to be up here talking to you guys, man. It's surreal.
You almost had the submission a couple of times. Was there ever a point you were worried you might overexert yourself?
Yeah, I think the first submission attempt I got a little too ahead of myself, and it's something we went over with in the back. The chances of me submitting Diego Sanchez are very slim, especially with the choke. As you saw, anytime I would try to go hooks in and stretch, he just had a good way of just kind of shrinking himself and just kind of slipping out. So I really had to ride the wrist really hard. I did kind of go for, I had like one decent kind of Kimura attempt. I knew if I was going to submit him, it would be with some type of 2-on-1 hammer lock of some sort. I didn't expect to maybe get one like I did against Condit, but I knew if I was going to get the finish, it would be with ground and pound. And he, dude, he's Diego Sanchez. He's tough as hell, you know what I mean? Oh no. Fuck. Well, that's fucking awful. Well, anyways, fuck. Just everything, you know what I mean? The Brooklyn incident, missing weight, losing to Anthony. You know, I remember sitting in the back here at T-Mobile. I remember the fight getting over and going back in the locker room, and I was just by myself. There was nobody there. My team was kind of tied up. I kind of beat everybody in the locker room, but there was no other fighters. There was no other coaches. There was no commissioners. There was just nobody. I remember going back to that locker room and sitting just, I don't know how long it was. Could have been 1 minute, could have been a half an hour. But I just remember sitting in that locker room like all by myself and just everything just like piling down on me and just being like, how did this happen? You know what I mean? I train hard. I take my career very serious. And I just remember, like I said, I don't know if it was a minute, I don't know if it was an hour. I just remember sitting back in the locker room by myself at T-Mobile, just wondering how this all happened. And it was a lot. I mean, it was a lot for me to overcome and get to where I'm at here today, talking to you guys. I had to push myself to my absolute limit, fighting Diego Sanchez to get a win. I'm very blessed. I'm very thankful. And those are the types of, you know, like I was telling you, what I went through last year at this exact time, you got to remember days like that because you just got to remember where you don't want to be. I will remember that moment for the rest of my life and cling on to it and keep it dear to my heart because I know I'll never let myself get back to that point ever again. So I'm just very blessed to be where I'm at.
What was this week like for you going through it, doing the move from 170? I mean, how much did you really even have that?
It felt really good because, like I said, like the last fight against Carlos Condit, change is very scary for anybody, and that's not just in fighting, that's in life. Making changes in your life is it's a scary thing to do, you know. So not only am I going into foreign territory, being 2 straight losses in my whole career, I've usually lost one and rebounded with 2 or 3 wins. You know, losing 2 in a row, then deciding to make that jump up. I didn't really get to soak it in against Condit. I was just very stressed out. I was very nervous. You know, even going into the weight cut, I was still like expecting it to be as bad as it was against Anthony. Whereas this fight week, I was just like, dude, this is cake. I feel good. Like, this is how fighting should feel. Like, I can't believe I spent so much of my career killing myself to make 55. But when you're in the rankings and you're a couple wins away from title contention, that's hard to walk away from. So it took me getting 2 losses in a row to make that decision. Did I want it to go that way? No, absolutely not. But I made the change, took the leap of faith, and now I'm just enjoying this so much more than I ever have, and I feel like this extended my fighting career. I feel like now I can really, before I didn't really see myself fighting past like 33, 34. Now I'm like, fuck yeah, man. I can fight to 38, you know what I mean? Like, this is, if I'm fighting in this weight class, I can feel this good. Going through my fight weeks with this kind of confidence, like, yeah, I can do this for a long time.
Speaking of Diego, all this week he was trying to get in your head, he was making these faces. How much did you, one, like that going through with Diego being Diego, and what did he say to you afterwards when he came up to you?
I went up to him and said, you know, you always had my respect. Never, I know that he was saying things in the media like I disrespected him and I was calling him an old man and all that stuff. I never said anything derogatory about the guy aside from the fact he's weird. But I think even he knows that. Dude, he's tough as hell. I'm a 31-year-old guy in his prime and I had to push myself to my limits to beat him. That says a lot, you know what I mean? And you want to talk about pressure, guys? It's a lot more pressure when everybody's coming to you and they're like, dude, look at the videos of his coach, and I'm hearing all the weird shit they're doing in the back. I heard they were lighting incense and candles and shit, and I'm like, that puts so much pressure on me. I would rather be like, hey, you're fighting this guy who's coached by Mike Brown, Coach of the Year. I'm like, no pressure, dude, that's Coach of the Year. There's nothing, but when it's like, he's going in the fight with this one corner, just doing all this weird fruitcake shit, I'm like, fuck, dude, I cannot lose to this guy or else I'll never. It's like career suicide almost, you know what I mean? And that's not a shot at Diego, but I don't think that a guy like that should be managed by one singular guy that doesn't have, you know, the repertoire of skills that pertain to MMA. So there was some, with all the fruitcake stuff going on, that did actually put some pressure on me. It didn't make it any easier for me. I was very much putting a lot of pressure on myself because of those types of things, but it doesn't change the fact he's tough as hell.
What was his response when you talked to him in the ring?
He said he agreed, you know what I mean? I know that, look, I know that that I had his respect. I never had a doubt in my mind, dude. If you've won the Ultimate Fighter and you've been through that experience, we have a certain respect for each other that other fighters won't share. Like, I know what he went through to get where he's at today, and vice versa, you know what I mean? So I never for once, even when he was saying all the crazy stuff this week, you know, I never doubted that he didn't have my respect and I didn't have his, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. We had a hell of a fight, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Go back home and enjoy the rest of the summer. That's fun.
Yeah. I miss my dogs, dude. Fuck. I've been gone so much this camp. My coach Rick Little, dude, this guy, he's got a gym, he's got a kid, he's got a life, and we literally been on the road together for a month. You know what I mean? We flew down to Texas to go train with my teammate Tyler McGuire, who's fought for the one championship welterweight title, and he's active Air Force commanding officer. If you go on an Air Force base with Tyler McGuire, you're getting salutes sent your way. And I couldn't go through a training camp without training with him, so I went back down to Texas, trained with him. Rick came with me. Then we went to Chicago. Rick went with me. We went home for a week. We've been here for 2 weeks. We've been riding side by side for a month, and we both are ready to go home. We got the job done. We did what we had to do. We made our sacrifices. Now we're on press road talking to you guys. I just want to go home and hold my dogs, sit in my log house out in the woods, bask in the sun, drink some fucking beer, and enjoy life a little bit before I get back to the gym. No, like I said, I always have a name in mind. I always do. I always have. I never overlook my opponents, but I always have in the back of my head, hey, I know the best time to call for a fight, and I tell guys this all the time. If there's a fight that you want in the UFC, and if it makes sense, take advantage of your time on the mic. Not right now. Take advantage of your time on the mic when you win. You can get any fight you want if it makes sense if you say it on the mic, but this, I didn't have an opponent in my mind. I was just thinking about my friend. Me and my teammate Sam, we lost a very close friend of ours, Jess Roskelley. He was an alpine climber. He was a very close friend to us, and that was the only name that was in the back of my head tonight. And yeah, this fight was for him. I didn't really say anything on social media about it. Been kind of playing my cards close to my chest. But yeah, this fight was for Jess, and this fight was for his family for sure. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Mike. Yeah.